Real quick on the opening game of the season, how are you feeling coming into this one?
Yeah, good. Obviously the preseason went well, but none of that matters if it doesn't go well in these 34 games coming up, starting with the first one here. But it's always a good sign when you have good momentum in the preseason. Very pleased with the way it went. First and foremost, pleased that we're healthy, with the exception of one injury that we took in Banga. We stayed healthy, and I think you see that in the performances in the latter stage of the preseason. Specifically the last two games where we played close to a first 11, 90 minutes, two positive results, two very positive performances on both sides of the ball. And it's always good to get, even though it doesn't count, a win at home, which we did, and a win on the road. So that gives us confidence going into this game. But now the real season begins, and we know it's going to be a long journey, but the guys are eager, I'm eager. We're excited to get off on the right foot, and that starts with March 3rd, this Friday, with 3 points.
You talked to you a bit about the Centreback signing that you guys are going to make. I saw the info that it sounds like you might not get a player till May at this point. Can you give us an update on the situation?
Yeah, so as soon as we took the injury to Banga, we knew he would be out for the season, and we didn't start the process because we always, with our new scouting infrastructure, we always have bullets in the barrel. But we started to hone in on our targets, and we've had a few of those targets not work out in terms of the deal getting signed and done, which is oftentimes the case. But that's why you have multiple targets. So what I'll say is we continue to have really good options, guys that we want, guys that we're in discussions with currently. It just comes down to getting the deal done. So I feel good about it. Gavin feels good about it. We hope to have news shortly, but like you said, most likely we won't be getting a player until May.
How confident are you with the depth at that position over the next 2 months? Will you wait to make the signing?
Well, I would say a lot more confident after I've seen Lawrence play well, in the preseason. I can't say he's exceeded our expectations. We knew he was a good player, but for a guy that hasn't played center back recently a ton with Kansas City, he's transitioned to that role in our team pretty seamlessly. He's obviously very good on the ball. You see that immediately, and our best defense is a good offense and keeping the ball. We haven't given up many chances in these games, and that's a good thing, and I think we need to continue to play to our strengths. But as far as depth, we know we have Renico, we have Amobi Okugo, and we have Roy Miller coming. He'll be here next week, Monday.
I know you saw Minnesota in the preseason, but how much of a mystery are they still to you guys as a franchise team, and how difficult is that for you to prepare for?
It's always a little bit more difficult when you have an expansion team. It helps when they have a coach that we know very well. And you start to look at trends and how coaches put things together, and it helps they were here, and you start to see what they're thinking and how they're putting the team together. There's a few questions for us going into the game in a few positions, but for the most part, I think we know very well what they're going to be about and who their key players will be. And their attacking group is talented. They put together a very good front four. We need to be mindful of and respectful of those players because they can hurt you. And we saw that in the game in the first half. Obviously, we had kind of a different group, but playing in that first half. But we got punished on a couple counterattacks, and we need to be aware of that in this game.
Looking at some of the teams that you faced during the preseason, it seemed like a lot of them were kind of figuring out who was going to be in the 11 for them, whereas you guys have had your 11 pretty dialed in for most of the preseason. Is that something that's going to help you sort of out of the gate, so to speak?
I hope so. You know, we have added some pieces, but you know, when you look at our lineup now that it's healthy, you've got 8 guys that have been here and been pretty consistent starters for us. So we feel good about the fact that those guys are in the lineup, they're healthy, and then I feel really good about the fact that our additions, Guzman, Blanco, and Lawrence, those 3 guys are the additions in the starting lineup and then the depth, but I feel good about those 3 in the starting lineup. I think they've made us a better team.
What do you think of the pairing of Guzman and Chara so far? Are they complementing each other as much as you had hoped?
Yeah, they've got a great chemistry. Obviously, this is my 5th year putting a group together, and I can honestly say the chemistry between Chara and Guzman is as good as it's ever been. It helps when they complement each other. They don't need to necessarily read each other as much, because what Guzman is good at, what he wants to do, complements Chara, and vice versa. And it doesn't hurt too that they seem to really get along as people off the field. And Chara's kind of taking Guzman under his wing, and obviously they can relate to each other in a lot of ways culturally. So that's really helped as well in the transition and that partnership and the chemistry between the 2 of them.